Hi, and welcome to MidLife to NewLife with Juan and Ron. On today's show, we're going to talk about why it's a great idea to start an online business. Now, years ago, I was involved with the restaurant business, and I was doing a little bit of advertising and stuff online, but I never really considered, doing a business online. But and then years later, I get into the heating and air conditioning business. I was doing sales, your traditional kind of 9-to-5 type of job, and then I met Juanita, and I noticed, she was working, she was making income, but she wasn't going anywhere, she's like setting her own hours, she's going cycling and all this whenever she sort of felt like it, and I was going like, she's got some freedom going on here, and I was like, Juanita, what are you doing?
Well, what I was doing was online marketing, and I started basically when I quit my job back in 1998. And the reason why I quit my job was because I wanted freedom, and I wanted time freedom. And I realized working a 9-to-5 job just wasn't going to work it for me because I like to have more than 15 minutes break. I like to have more than a half-hour lunch, and I like to be able to go out on a beautiful day and go for a cycle ride if I didn't have things planned. So what I did, I got into the online marketing space. And then when I met Ron, we got into it together. And the reason why is because it gives you more freedom to be healthier, to have more time in a relationship, and to develop your relationship and help others. And so then together...
Yes. So then we looked at, different businesses that were available. And, we were trying to find the right one, the right fit. And, we tried a few different ones. We had some success, but nothing that really, kind of really excited us until we met Brian Campbell with Journey TV, with this show. And then, things really began to click. Now, he's going to be on the show, actually, later. And... he'll be sharing his insights and ideas and give you guys, an idea how you can get started on an online business as well. So, but today on this show, we're going to take you on our journey, our adventure. And, Juanita, you want to tell us what we're up to today?
Where we're going to go on a trail just five minutes from here, and it's a road trail. And it heads out to the ocean, and along the way we'll share some ideas, some tips on ways you can possibly start an online business.
Yeah, so she's going to get ready. We're both going to get ready and head outside, and we'll meet you there.
See you outside. We're off to a trail ride today instead of a road bike. A road cycling, and the reason being is it's getting cold out now, and it tends to be a little warmer in the trails, so that's where we're heading to. And once we're in the trails, I'll give you a tip about your bike.
So here we go, heading out on the trail. And if you're watching live, comment #live, and if you're watching the replay, comment #replay. So we're just heading to the Visit Trail, which is a great little trail not too far from our place. Here's the sign here, and before we get going, let's get a little tip from Juanita.
I want to give you a bike tip. When you're on your bike, your seat should be adjusted to a height where you have a little bend in your knees, because if not, if your knees are bent too much, you're going to end up with very sore knees, especially if you like to do any amount of biking. So that's my tip for the day. Make sure your seat is adjusted to the right level so you don't end up with sore knees. Happy cycling.
You can't really tell, but I'm cycling up an incline here. It's like kind of getting started in your business. There's work involved, and it takes a little time. But with the help of mentors and coaches, pretty soon you're coasting downhill and it starts to get fun.
You can read up on a lot of different businesses and continue to read, continue to research, but eventually you just have to go and you have to start it. A few great benefits of having an online business is that you can work from anywhere in the world if you choose. And of course, you don't have a boss. and that's a big bonus. And let's not forget the many tax deductions you can get.
You know, we're riding along the trail, and I was saying to Juanita, you know, in this time of our life, I mean, you know, we could be working our buns off, but it's good to get out, enjoy your life. You know, we got one life. We come across, you know, this area with all the horses and everything. It's just beautiful, beautiful trail, and you know, some beautiful views. So you got to get out and get on your bike. You know, what I'm really talking about is having a balance. Like, you can go online and you can see other marketers, you know, they talk about the grind, which is really meaning, you know, the hard work. And sure, you know, online businesses are like any other business. You have to, you know, focus your energies. You do have to do the work, but we believe in a balance.
And that's why we got into an online business. It's to have the freedom to do what we want to do. Of course, we still work, but we get to choose when to come out, you know, around, depending on what our schedule is like. But we get to play too at the same time. And that's why we chose an online business, especially in midlife. We've done the other stuff. So now it's important to us to live the rest of our lives with freedom.
Getting started in an online business can be a little intimidating. I know when I first started, there were so many choices, you know, so many different kinds of businesses. You know, it took a while for us to really find the right business with the right fit.
And when you're looking online, it can seem like a total internet maze. You don't know where to go, or you'll start looking and next thing you know, you're off to something else, as you probably already know being online. But that's what we're here for. So if you want to reach out to us, we would love to help you decide whether working online is even right for you or not. So reach out to us. We're here to help.
It's such a beautiful day that we decided to go get changed and head to another section of the park, the Cole Harbour Heritage Park. Now, you can't ride your bicycle there, but hey, you can run backwards. And as you can see, Juanita's excited to get back on the trail.
There's nothing like nature. There's nothing like being outdoors. There's nothing like this to invigorate ourselves and our furry friends. Yeah.
Once you find the right business to get started with, mindset becomes very important.
Watch the ripple. See what happens? It's the same when we have a thought. Everything's a vibration. And if you're vibrating at a very low frequency, sadness, depression, frustration, anger, that actually goes out and impacts humanity. So when you're feeling love and gratitude, that also continues to go out and impact such a positive way humanity. So make sure you're aware of your thoughts and your feelings with those thoughts.
And it's inevitable that, you know, you're going to face some challenges in your new business. So it's very important to remember, you know, the enthusiasm and the optimism and the whole reason why you got into this business in the first place.
Have you hugged a tree today? I can promise you there is nothing more wonderful than stopping along the way of a hike or walk and hugging a tree. You start to connect. You can feel the breath, the heartbeat of Mother Earth as it goes up to the tree. Try it. You can't judge it until you try it.
Don't knock it till you try it.
Don't knock it till you try it. That's right. what a beautiful view this is? You know, when I take these walks in between doing our business, it really helps to put things into perspective. This park, for example, it's called the Poor Farm, and this is where many disadvantaged poor children and adults lived and died. I never knew this was here.
When you come across scenes like this, you know, it really makes you reflect and think of the past and the fact really that we only have one life to live. So we really have to make the best of it. And you also think about the history, the rich history in this area, and of those disadvantaged people that actually lived in this area.
It makes you think about the opportunities we have to help people with an online business. There's something for everyone, and it doesn't take a special talent. What it takes is a desire to help yourself, help others, and make a difference in the world. You know, when I look at this, and there's not really deep roots, I see this as an analogy to our own life. When we don't have a deep foundation of faith, we can easily stumble and fall and go down that dark road of depression. So make sure that you have a deep-rooted foundation in faith, because it'll carry you through many trying times.
You're right, Juanita. Faith is very important. And it's also essential to have an experienced mentor.
And talking about mentors, today we're so grateful to have Brian Campbell with us. Brian is the founder of the Journey TV. He's a coach, a mentor, and most of all, a visionary. Brian, thank you so much for coming on the show with us, and we're grateful to have you here.
Well, thank you for having me on the program today, Ron and Juanita. I'm glad to be here.
All right. Well, our topic today is why starting an online business is a great idea. In light of kind of our current world situation, can you give us your perspective on why an online business is essential to achieving financial freedom?
Well, first off, in business in general, having like the traditional idea, have your own business, many people understand the benefits of that. You get to determine your own work schedule. You get to determine the flexibility to create your own income. When you're working for somebody else, you know, you negotiate a salary up front, and then you're locked into getting incremental small raises over time. Whereas if you own a business, then you're able to employ people, you're able to offer new products, you're able to expand your services. You have so much that you can do to actually change the income that you make. And if something isn't working as well as you like, you can you can advertise, you can do lots of things to expand it. You're in control of the situation. When you're an employee, it's very fixed. So a lot of people look at that as job security, having a job where you can just go and you get the paycheck. However, that was an older plan that used to work back, when we were kids and our parents were getting in, like post World War II. It was a great plan because companies would hire people for 30 years. We're seeing the trend that doesn't really happen anymore. There's turnovers, companies are sold. There's really not a loyalty with the workforce. So having a business is important because the old idea of job security is kind of out the window. And especially for starting a MidLife to NewLife, I think a lot of people who are watching this who may have been employees, they may have had a fantasy or a dream of creating a business. And just looking at our local situation, we live on a small island on Kauai here. You can see out the window this mountain. It's a beautiful time of day. Get to wake up to that every day. And the problem, I'm sure that it's affected many local communities similarly, where our local industry was really vulnerable because it's based on tourism. We don't really have a product here. So if you don't work for the hospital or the government, the 80% of the island that depends on tourism, the hotels, they were all completely shut down because of two factors. One, a disease that nobody saw coming. This was completely unexpected. We were unprepared for that. And the second aspect of this was also a political decision where the government made a decision to close it. Now, this is unprecedented. We've never seen this happen before, where there's so many people that had jobs that all of a sudden the job closed. I mean, we were on hold for 6 or 7 months where no one's coming into the island. And according to Yelp, many of the small local businesses, Yelp data is that the restaurants and the hair salons and all the businesses that closed during COVID, 60% of those businesses are closed permanently. They'll never reopen. So this has put many of the local businesses out of business. And it makes sense because if you can't leave the house, you're not going to get a haircut as often. You're not going to eat out at a restaurant. So what happened is people were ordering more stuff to cook at home. People got more into home gardening, right? So rather than getting in a car and traveling to another location, have a meeting, for instance, we're here meeting on Zoom, because of COVID, still the travel restrictions. If I leave Kauai, like if I wanted to come to meet with you, Ron, Juanita, in your lovely space there, well, I have to quarantine for 14 days to return to Kauai. There's also the movement of going green, saving energy. It makes a lot of sense that you would communicate on the internet. With your small local community basically closing down and having people not traveling as much, not even leaving the house as much, for one, it keeps people safer, but it's also a way to save energy and conserve and not be so wasteful, right? Because it is wasteful to like get in the car and travel for 2 hours. You're wasting your time, you're polluting the environment. So there's a lot of good things about this. But the reason for an online business as opposed to the local one, we see the trend for local businesses a lot harder, shrinking customer base because less people are leaving the house. Where's that going? Where are those people shifting their time to? Well, now they're home. Internet usage is at an all-time high. That's growing. More people are doing online meetings. And the world has been shifting over the past 20 years with the internet taking over. And the trend will be to continue to move more globally. So, we used to think in terms of countries. I mean, really, we're becoming a one world. A lot of people are afraid of that, but that is really what it is. People are coming together and communicating, and the boundary of distance doesn't really exist anymore. So the internet allows you to communicate with a bigger audience, have a bigger group of potential customers, and you just can't reach people the same way locally without a lot of money. You'd have to have a lot of billboards, radio advertising. It's really expensive to reach these kind of numbers locally, and it's not even possible in most cases.
Mm-hmm. So how do you, like with Jurni TV, how can subscribing to Jurni TV help our viewers, achieve or look more into the online space for businesses and so on? Is there something that we can get maybe from Jurni TV that'll help us become financially free?
Well, absolutely. So Jurni TV is a platform that's designed to reach a large audience. So people who watch, Netflix, or they watch these different TV programs, we're a TV network that actually leads people with a purpose of transformation to greater health, wealth, and happiness. And we reach these broad categories of people. It's a platform where we're building this large audience. We're doing all kinds of advertisements. We're making strategic connections. It's also a platform for you to not be salesy and not just be promoting a business, but to be in a place where you have your branding and your authority, where you can have a deeper connection with an audience, with your community. Because ultimately, if you are trying to seek an audience of customers, you need a group of people who would want to engage with you in some kind of business activity, whether you're selling a service or a product or whatever you're offering to the marketplace. You need to come in contact with your audience, and you need to give them opportunities for you to solve their problems and to give them value and to do your service for them or to have them benefit by your products. Well, Traditionally, people have used platforms like television and radio to present those types of opportunities. Well, here on Journey.tv, we have a platform where it's a weekly ongoing seminar, if you will, for educating people about your business opportunity or how you help people. So for instance, a personal trainer, like if your goal is to do personal training, you could have a show on Journey TV to do that. If you're a law of attraction life coach, it's the perfect platform to educate your audience that we already have this growing audience of people that are interested in that. So whether you're like a business coach, a spiritual coach, a fitness or health coach, there's so many layers that breaks down to is, offering some type of service. You design websites. There's all kinds of applications here where you would benefit by communicating with this audience and drawing them in. And that's my specialty is attraction marketing. You put out the information that your audience is looking for. You teach them like how to make progress in your industry. You teach them what they need to know, what they're interested in, how to solve their problems, let them know about the resources. You're not selling anything. It's just you're there to serve that market with the information that you put out there. And then as people see that you are a recommended authority or someone that can help them in all these different areas, then they will naturally come to you when it's time to do business, when they're looking for these solutions.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it's a great opportunity to reach, a large audience and get your message out there, really. I mean, it's, we're always looking for the best way to market. And definitely Journey TV is very unique and a great opportunity for ourselves too. I mean, we're about midlife to new life, where we want, obviously, our message is mainly for the midlife crowd in a sense, but really it's for everybody that wants to be involved in starting an online business. And, with Brian as our mentor and as the chief bottle washer at Journey TV.
And we also want to say for all the members watching, you can subscribe to Journey TV by going to journey.tv, and you can subscribe there, and you can go into journey.tv/midlife. We're very grateful to Brian to bring this to the world for people who want information and for other people who would like to serve more people. So Brian, thank you so much for being on the show today. We so much appreciate you, and we're very happy to be on this journey with you.
And it's my pleasure as well. It's wonderful been working with you and just to see the journey that you're taking people on. It's a wonderful experience.
Thanks, Brian.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone, for watching.
Aloha.
We'd like to thank you for watching this episode of Why Starting an Online Business is a Great Idea.
And if you have any questions, just leave them in the comments below and we'll get back to you with the answers. And make sure that you watch past episodes at journey.tv/midlife to new life. And Journey is JURNI.
And be sure to catch us next week on Thursday at 5:30 p.m. EST on journey.tv.
Thank you. God
Thanks
bless.
for watching.